Who's there? What a wonderful day it is today. Hello, welcome. Please come in. Da, 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 da. The fruit of technology that has survived an enormous numbers of tests and tremendous competition for ability. The wisdom of mankind will rule the skies, the cutting edge of aviation technology. It flies and turns at the overwhelming speed. Science fiction writers gave birth to the concept of flying cars decades ago. A future where flying cars would be a reality did not seem impossible because technology was progressing at leaps and bounds. In the light of important technological, regulatory, and safety challenges, consensus is a way forward for the entire industry. Flying cars are definitely coming within the next 2 to 3 years. The regulation is in place and authorities are actively supporting the innovation. The famous quote, "Where we are going, we don't need roads," from the 1985 films Back to the Future, might become a reality in the next few years. The film shows a DeLorean, which had the ability to fly and even travel time, while time travel might still be a result of sci-fi films. Flying cars have been a staple in science fiction for years. Now, the company is one step closer to making this fantasy a reality. This goal is to help create a society where flying cars are safe and accessible means of transportation. To develop the car with the hope of launching in 2023. Commuting in the metropolitan area is a trying affair. Commuting time is over an hour, very likely the world's longest in Japan. Since most people travel in the same direction, it's almost impossible to avoid it both the morning and the evening rush hours. People who are able to board the train and at the first station are fortunate because they can get seats. Even so, they might have to wait for a few trains before they get their chance. There are even people who push people into the trains when there is no more space for them to get in. How long before I get in my car and I tell my car, "Take me to work," and it just goes. Move at autonomously is one of around a dozen firms testing vehicles. Government want to use their findings for driverless transport. The goal is to reduce air pollution and chronic heavy traffic. How long did it take for me to get used to driving around without a driver? No, I don't think I'm still ready for it. Actually, this is my honest answers. We will have a mixed level of traffic between cars that are autonomous as well as the drivers. As self-driving technology still has its limits, as safety driving is necessary on our ride. Self-driving buses will solve the bus drivers' shortage, the optic street, the sweepers. Where work is undesirable, graveyard is a shift, and free autonomous cars like this BMW equipped with cameras and sensors will give new independence for those who cannot drive. Cities which have extremely high sophistication of infrastructures will be the first places that autonomous vehicles will be deployed. A vehicle has been developed that can transform itself from a car to an actual airplane within 3 minutes. It took its first test flight recently where it flew 1,500 feet in the air. In recent years, two major innovations have been taking place in the automotive industry. One is the development of zero-emission vehicles, such as EV electric vehicles and fuel cell vehicles. The other is the development of automated driving technology. Automobiles equipped with automated driving systems are expected to bring many benefits, such as reducing traffic accidents and easing traffic congestion. For these reasons, governments of various countries are supporting their own automakers and developing their technologies and improving the environment. In Japan, the Ministry of Land Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, and other relevant ministries are discussing various measures that promote the use of automated driving. Japan has no natural resources. They have pursued the basic strategy as a nation of exporting technology and technology. Sometimes real human beings may need to override the self-driving machine. Tend to draw suppositions larger from the way that aircraft work, since in many ways they are technologically more advanced than the present-day cars. Aware that aircraft has sensors for proximity that can register the presence of another aircraft, maybe by locking onto the sensor of the other aircraft, but also secondary through the simple radar. The fact that planes have an automatic pilot, but also retain the pilot seat, is also instructive. We can never take into consideration all contingencies, as there is always room for exceptions or anomalies. It can be very difficult to accurately predict something occurring in terms of the actual context. It is also necessary to give close study to many physical locations to prevent the accident from occurring. The most pressing problem would be to solve the question as to who will be responsible for any accident that may occur. Norway sells more electric vehicles than anywhere in the world, with the goal of ending the gasoline car sales by 2025, going gas-free. Latest global automotive powertrains forecast shows the sales of electric vehicles, electric-fueled vehicles growing even faster than expected. These cars will seize a third of the market by 2025 and 51% by 2030, surpassing the sales of vehicles powered purely by international combustion engines. Many studies have found that developing on the vehicle's origin of manufacture and its battery size, producing the battery electric vehicles can generate up to 60% more CO2 emissions than producing a competitive ICE, internal combustion, petroleum and engine that diesel cars. But once in operation, vehicles provided very well-to-wheel emission, emission impact of BEV, batteries, electronic vehicles, there is substantially from one country to another. However, with the main determinant being the countries because of reliance on fossil fuels and energy production. Why are not young people driving or getting their driver's license, and by extension the buying cars? Teens and young adults started holding out on getting their golden ticket to motorize at freedom in about 1984, and there are several reasons why that trend started and is increasing today. Owning a car today as any car isn't as cheap, or at least not as cheap as it was. But in 1984, they could spend $1,000 on a not fancy but durable car, and it was relatively affordable since gas was $1 a gallon. Add some friends who would pitch in, and a road trip was not out of the question. Not anymore. Now, with gas constantly hovering around $4 a gallon and $60 to fill up, and insurance companies changing to over $1,000 a year to insure a teen or 20-something drivers at the most basic of coverage, cars has become the major expense point. The rise of widespread and reliable mass transmitted system was a common theme, expanded, and sometimes included modern light rail system that could move the large numbers of people longer distances quickly matches the system. While having a car was a status and freedom for generations past, the modern cell phones, internet, and the instant connectivity that they engendered are new freedoms. There is no need to hop in a car and drive to someone's house or quick e-market parking lot to be seen and get the latest quote. This is what Facebook, Twitter, text message, and Google's Hangouts and for, and much of it free or crystal app.